What's going on, PFR Nation? This is Kevin Lau, your host of the Planning for Retirement podcast, and I hope everyone is enjoying their holiday season. Merry Christmas for all of you that celebrate Christmas, and hope you're enjoying time with your loved ones, your family members, your friends. And this is going to be coming out the last week of December, so hopefully everyone is now out of your home and you have a quiet house to really think about all that you have to be thankful for 2024 and really thinking through your plans for 2025 and beyond. And some of you might be planning to retire in 2025 and perhaps retire to a low or no state income tax state. All right. So I thought I'd do a little whiteboard fireside chat naturally on this topic. I just so happens that I live in a no state income tax state, which is great, but it's not the whole picture. All right. State income taxes is not that's not everything. All right. It's not just because you're in a no or low state income tax state doesn't mean you are going to have low taxes in general. There are other things like property taxes, sales taxes, estate taxes, and other considerations that you need to really think through before deciding to move to a low or no state income tax state. But really my main goal, and I'm going to dive into the whiteboard on this one, was because I received this article from the Tax Foundation. This is why I wanted to do this one, and it was called the Tax Competitiveness and Interstate Migration. So ultimately what it did is it tried to draw correlation between these low tax states or these no income tax states and compare it to the net migration those states experienced relative to other states that have potentially higher state income tax states. All right. And so this chart really says it all. Like I said, this is from the Tax Foundation website. And, you can see top 10, the best states, the top 10 states from a tax competitiveness standpoint. Okay, so this is all encompassing. All right, this isn't just income taxes. This is all encompassing. And so they have their own little state tax competitiveness index. And so, like I said, search for this article. Again, I'm going to give you the title again. I'm not sure if I can link it into the show notes. Maybe I can. But it's called Tax Competitiveness and Interstate Migration, Tax Foundation website. Just write that down, Google it later, and you'll be able to find it, hopefully. If not, comment and I'll send it to you. But look at this, top 10 versus the bottom 10. I mean, right then and there, it kind of shows you everything you need to know. Positive roughly 2% in terms of net migration as a share of the 2021 the 2021 state population. Okay, so this was really during that COVID, this COVID migration, that great migration, as we like to call it. And the bottom 10 tax states from a tax competitive standpoint, minus 2.4%. Okay, so this trend it's I see this personally because I currently live in Tennessee. I lived in Florida for the last decade. Okay. And really, I wanted to do this whiteboard fireside chat because I find it amusing. Because, this push towards migration toward these no and low state income tax states for retirees just because of the state impact is very amusing because oftentimes there's not a lot of research that is done outside of just the tax competitiveness. And I think this is why I'm just telling you, do your homework, maybe experience living in some of these places before you jump ship and just move just because of the state impact. Of course, that is a factor. You want to make sure that your retirement income is protected. You're not overpaying in taxes in retirement. But this idea that, you're just going to move to these low or no state income tax states and just be super happy in retirement, I think is a misnomer. And I saw this firsthand in Florida, not bashing Florida by any stretch. I lived there for 10 years. I find it to be a wonderful state for the most part. It obviously has its challenges, just like every other state. But I mean, man, the frustration for local Floridians, and I guess you can call them local Floridians, folks that have maybe been there for a decade plus. But the experience of this net migration into the state of Florida, into the Sunshine State, since this post-pandemic boom of migration has been really frustrating for a lot of these Floridians. and they're just getting super annoyed at, all of these folks moving down there, not doing a lot of homework around the state and ultimately what it's about, and just expecting them to kind of carry on as is, and expecting them to be super happy just because they're not paying state income taxes anymore. And I'm just telling you, for personal experience, like I said, having lived in 2 states with no state income tax, and then previously living in states that had a state income tax, you just want to make sure you do your homework before you're just going to up and move, just because of the tax impact on your retirement. And what I'd also say is just the income tax piece is not the only part of the equation. Okay. And by the way, really quickly, the top 3 drivers of this: Florida, Texas, and what was the third one? Tennessee. So I live here. I lived there. Haven't lived there, nor do I really want to move to Texas. But ultimately, those are the 3 states that were in the top three that really drove this net migration of positive 2% in 2021. And yeah, like I said, all 3 of these are no state income tax states. And the 3 that drove the bottom 10, the top 3 that had net flows out of those particular states, probably no surprise, because honestly, you're probably watching this video and you're living in California, New York, or New Jersey, right? And these states saw a massive outflow of individuals leaving their states, and they are going to these 3 states, okay? And you just think about from a cultural point of view, all right? California, New York, New Jersey, moving to Florida, Texas, Tennessee, it's just a really interesting dynamic. And that's why I'm just telling you, I'm urging you, before you retire somewhere, do your homework. Rent an Airbnb for a month, all right? Rent a hotel for a month, whatever your preference is, all right? Stay for a while, experience it. You could even rent for 6 months, rent for a year. I mean, if you're retired, you've got all the time in the world. Rent your current house out, keep it, rent it out, or sell it, get the cash, put it in the high yield savings account, earn 4.5%, call it a day, go somewhere and rent. Use the interest that you're making on that high yield savings account. Go rent in one of these states that you're thinking about moving to, and sort of experience it for a year before you jump ship and leave your family, leave your friends, leave your support system, leave your doctors, leave your schools, leave your kids, leave your grandkids, just to move for state income taxes. Okay. But that's what's been happening. That's the trend since 2021. And I guarantee you, when this study comes out for 2022, 2023, it's going to be a similar story, that people are leaving these high tax states, moving into low tax states. And truthfully, it makes sense to me. I wouldn't want to overpay. I wouldn't want to overpay state income taxes to have these politicians that are not good at managing money screw things up. Okay, I certainly, I'm not disagreeing with the decision to leave these high income tax states, but I'm saying choose wisely. Okay. These aren't the only 3 choices here, okay? And truthfully, if you're from Florida and you're hearing me say that, you're like, absolutely, hallelujah. We don't want anyone moving out. I mean, how many times have you heard someone from Florida say, we're closed, the state of Florida is closed? I mean, it's very much this mindset of like they're done with net migration in. And I'm telling you, there are other states out there that are very tax friendly for retirees, okay? There's another article that I looked at from Smart Asset. And they listed 7 states that are very tax friendly. Florida is one of them. Okay. Texas and Tennessee, by the way, are not on very tax friendly, because you need to consider the entire tax landscape. It's not just about state income taxes, it's about property taxes. Okay. It's about inheritance tax. Okay. Or death taxes. Okay, it's about sales taxes. Tennessee, I think, is one of the worst states for sales taxes. And I've experienced this now. I'm like, I go somewhere, I purchase something, I'm like, good grief. I mean, 9% sales tax. Okay, I mean, thank the Lord, Costco is right across the border in Georgia, and I can go to Georgia, which they also list as very tax friendly on the Smart Asset website, on the Smart Asset article. But you've got Florida on there, Georgia, Alaska, Mississippi, Nevada, South Dakota, Wyoming. I mean, some of those states probably not really interested in retiring to. I don't know how many people are looking to retire to Mississippi or looking to retire to South Dakota. I mean, Wyoming, I've heard good things. I mean, Nevada, I've heard really good things. Florida, Georgia, for sure. Alaska, I mean, obviously you're a little isolated there, but a beautiful state. Heard good things about it. I got a friend that lives in Anchorage, but it's not the only part of the equation. And on top of this as well, there are certain states that don't tax Social Security, that don't tax pensions, okay, that don't tax IRA or 401k withdrawals. All right, so some of these states, right, that ultimately might have an income tax, okay, while you're working, right? They might tax your income while you're working, but when you retire, they're not going to touch your Social Security, pension, IRA, 401k. So, one of the examples I think about is Pennsylvania. I had this client that was looking to retire from Pennsylvania to Florida. We were doing some analysis on this one, and the income tax difference was pretty much a wash for him from an income tax perspective, because Pennsylvania is very friendly in terms of their taxation on Social Security, taxation on pensions, taxation on retirement income, and ultimately the property taxes there versus the property taxes in Florida, was a little bit more friendly, at least in his county. So he decided to stay in Pennsylvania. So you got to look at the whole tax landscape. Don't just jump ship just because there's no state income tax. But if you are going to move to one of those states, if you are in, let's say, California, New York, New Jersey, you're paying up the nose in not only federal, but also in state income taxes. What I would say is really time those Roth conversions, really time those capital gain distributions, okay? Because once you move to a potentially low or no state income tax state, then you can unlock some of those potential lower, not only federal income tax brackets because you're retired, but also a very little or no state income tax. All right. So really think through your Roth conversion strategy, your capital gain distribution strategy as you make this retirement planning transition, as you're thinking about moving to a different state. And really that is my plea to you, is just really think this process through. It's a big move. You don't need to jump ship and go and buy your dream home right away. I mean, go in and, like I said, ease into it. Fine, even if you are set on Florida, let's say you do want to move to Florida, you're like, I don't want to shovel snow. I don't want to deal with the cold winters. I want to move to Florida. Okay, good with that decision. Florida is a large state. There are a lot of different cities that you can move to in Florida. So maybe you go rent for a year. Check out one city. If it fits your vibe, move there, buy a house, build a house. If it doesn't, good thing you weren't on the hook for staying, for the new house that you just built or that you just bought. Then you can move to a different city and try another city out until you really find your niche. That's really my plea to you, because I've seen this movie before. I've seen many retirees. Like I said, when I practiced in Florida the last decade, still work with a ton of Floridians. Love you folks in Florida, but it is not for everybody. And I do see a lot of folks move to the state of Florida and they're just not really satisfied. And that could go with any state, all right? Not really satisfied. It wasn't what they thought it was going to be in retirement. So just do your homework, ease into that decision. It doesn't have to be your final destination over the next 15, 20 years. And now that you have that flexibility, you have that work optional situation where you can go live somewhere else for a period of time and keep that flexibility. That is really my urge to you. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to like it, of course. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Or if you're in that 50 to 60 plus range, you've exceeded 7 figures of assets for retirement, now you're considering work optional, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because you're going to really enjoy our content. But then more importantly, if you know somebody that has a similar mindset, they're like, hey, you know what? I want to get out of the state. I want to move somewhere else that's more tax friendly. Make sure to share this video with them. I really urge you to do that, because I think more people need to hear this message from someone who's lived in 2 of these very, very tax friendly states. And that's just urging you to do your homework, be patient with it, and don't feel like you need to rush in to make your final decision right at the beginning of retirement. You've got plenty of time in your go-go years to be flexible, maintain that not only financial independence, but also that lifestyle independence, if you will. So, and that's it, everybody. I appreciate it, y'all tuning into this video. Happy New Year to everybody, and I'll see you in 2025.